And I think one of the other things that you speak about in the book that perhaps is a bit non-traditional, and I'm glad you touched on this, is that, you know, many firms that have kind of the billable hour model, and you have a different perspective on that, right? I'd love for you to speak about that, and then also, because just, you know, obviously with billable hours, in many cases, this kind of decentivizes efficiency, right? So what's your perspective?
Yeah, so I'm certainly not the first person to talk about the billable hour, but this is my perspective. You can build a skyscraper for a fixed fee. You can build a nuclear submarine for a fixed fee. Yet somehow we're incapable, you know, we write a letter or a motion. No, sorry, I couldn't possibly do that for a fixed fee. The trouble with billable hour is it always equates the time spent to value, but there is a disconnect there. Sometimes an hour of my time, you know, I talk about in the book, I wrote one letter and it saved a multi-million-dollar merger. That had delivered a great deal of value to the client. Other times I might be in a deposition and my opponent's fumbling with exhibits and I'm just having to sit there. At that moment in time, I'm not delivering as much value to the client. Yet the billable hour, it values it exactly the same. Another problem with the billable hour is it values inefficiency. Most firms have the billable hour target, and the higher billers are generally rewarded with higher bonuses. And to a certain extent, that might be warranted. But there could also be a lawyer who's incredibly inefficient and effectively is seen as a superstar in the firm because they're taking longer. If you go and take your car to the car wash, you don't say, well, how many minutes is it going to take? Or someone mows your lawn, well, how many minutes is it going to take? Yet we've all become so ingrained as lawyers that, well, no, this is the only way that we can bill. Now, to be clear, my firm does offer the billable hour. Many clients still want the billable hour. That's completely fine, and I'm on board with that. But I think I don't even like the term alternative fee arrangements because it assumes the billable hour is the norm, is the correct model. So we also offer fixed fees. We offer it's almost like a subscription model where per month, how much it costs per month, early resolution success fees, obviously on the plaintiff side, contingency fees. So one of the first things I ask any potential client is, what are you looking for? Here are some options. Here's a menu of options. You know, is certainty in legal spend more important? Do you want the billable hour? Do you want the alternatives? So really put it in the client's control. What do you want? Instead of just assuming that every client wants the billable hour.
Yeah, I love that. It's just meeting them where they are. And to your point, I mean, if you look at it from the standpoint, the value you're providing isn't necessarily based on the time you're spent working on something. It's ultimately your years of experience, knowing how to solve the problem. I know you give this example in the book about, I think at one point was like an engineer or someone was billing someone. They said, well, how much? And it was like $1 for the screw, and then, you know, $9,000 for the, you know, for the labor, right? You're just getting this done, right? So knowing how to solve the problem or which screw to turn.
Exactly.
Right?
I give you another example in the book, the heart surgeon.
Yeah.
Someone's trained 30 years to be this heart surgeon. If you need heart surgery, the surgery might take 30 minutes to save your life, but what's the value of that 30 minutes to you? It literally saved your life. Yet no surgeon would think, well, here's my billable hour and here's half an hour. Yet why as lawyers do we think, well, no, this is how we do it. Sorry, we can't do any better.